Hey guys, it's been a while, really has. But I I haven't been feeling that great. Like I was on record last week, but after Tuesday, I started not feeling that great, and it was because on Tuesday, well, on Monday I was supposed to make cookies and then decorate them Tuesday, but I completely forgot to make and bake the cookies. So I had to, like on Tuesday, I had to rush and get all the stuff I needed done. And I was sitting at my kitchen table for 6.5 hours baking and decorating cookies. These were like homemade sugar cookies. Um, I will post them later, or at least try to remember to post the picture later. But so the next day I felt pretty okay. My back hurts a little bit, not too much. It was not that big of a deal. But on Thursday, not Thursday, it got so much worse. Um, my back hurt so bad that honestly, I didn't want to get up. And like having like anything on my back really hurt my it hurt my back, but also it um hang on, sorry. But it also made me have trouble breathing for a bit. And I noticed that my stomach started hurting. So I kind of looked it up, and it said that bad posture can tighten up your like stomach. So until like kind of fix your posture for a while, um, it's gonna hurt. So I was barely eating for a while. Like I barely could stomach anything because I felt like constantly getting sick. And then on Sunday, it was like really bad. I didn't eat supper that night. I think I didn't eat supper, but a little while later, I think about an hour, about an hour and a half later, after everyone finished eating, I ate a few crackers just to have something in my stomach, and then I took some Model, and I think I had like some type of allergic reaction because very early, like 3 o'clock in the morning on Monday, I got sick, and like I had these like I usually when I get sick, I'm sick. Sometimes I have these red dot freckles everywhere, but on Monday I knew I could not miss that on Monday. Tuesday I could care less if I missed. But on Monday I could not miss because of what was it? Sorry, my brain's not working. But I couldn't miss because I had a final, and those finals call like are a lot of your grade. But like I thought we would have to like it's a kind of, I thought it was like a big test. Should actually practically put it on the board and what was it? Oh yeah, she put it on the board. So um we could like answer practically as a class. We like everyone had to answer at least one question. And then I got 100. My question was pretty difficult, but I got it right, and I was proud about that. I was like, thank God. So, but anyways, the next I on Monday, I also switched to a smaller backpack, so it's not so much pressure on my back because that was getting horrible. Because that not that Friday, last Friday, I almost literally did not make it up to the driveway because my driveway is not too long. It's more of a it's like a walk, and then you're going up a hill, like a tiny hill, and then you go down like kind of a steep, like the other side of the hill is like steep, and then and then like, there's another hill. These are not really big hills, but they're kind of small hills, but they're one side's steep going down, the other side like when you get as soon as you get done going down the steep side, you have to go up and like a steep another steep side. And then like you after you get up that hill, it's a straight shot to my house, which is like not that far from that hill. Maybe I'm not counting steps, but depends how big you step. Maybe 100 steps away because you kind of have to go and turn a corner. Anyways, my head. This is hurting. Um, but yeah, not yesterday, but the next day felt a little better. I still couldn't eat because of like the breakfast they served. It was bacon and biscuit. I looked at it and usually school food is pretty okay. Sometimes their biscuits are really dry. It's like eating paper sometimes. In my opinion, I didn't eat breakfast or lunch the last Monday and Tuesday. I could not do it. But I didn't eat lunch on Tuesday because my second block we had a um a Christmas party. I ate some there. Still couldn't stomach much. But yesterday I ate more than I have in the last 7 days. About 7 days. We're not really counting. Um, but I think after this week, sorry, after this week, I'm gonna feel a lot better. I have developed a cough because it's cold outside and I'm walking up the driveway in the cold. That's my choice. I could literally go to my grandmother's, but it's not a hilly walk. But I don't want to tell my bus driver where to go because we have a new bus driver. Yay! Oh, anyways, that like took 10 minutes, and I'm so sorry about that. To explain everything, but that's not the way why I am recording today. It's because I want to get a podfic out, at least one this month. I'm sorry I haven't been posting a lot. I really was going to do it last week, but you know how that went. Okay, this is Tea in a Bar by Atia Blackcharm. Chapter 6. It's nice. Summary. Kurogiri comes back with food, and the day goes on. Warnings. Demeaning language from a parent, Inko, and references to mistreatment at school. When Kurogiri returned, he quickly noted that one particular child was missing. He's in the bathroom. Something happened. Kurogiri remained silent, waiting for someone to explain. Compress was the one to fulfill that role, and Kurogiri couldn't help the way his eyes sharpened at the implication. Despite only knowing the child for a little while, the first meeting the was during a dam attack. Kurogiri, oh my god, get out of my lap, cat, please. You keep on clawing me. I really do not need you clawing me today. Kurogiri had started to feel a fondness for him. It was odd, and he had a feeling that the fact that when Midoriya had asked for tea had had been the start of it. In fact, um, he was excited to make tea again this morning, but of course he would have to wait for the young man himself to come back from the bathroom, which eventually he did. But when he returned, any signs um any signs that he had slept was gone. Dark circles seemed to have darkened now, and now Midoriya's eyes were seen puffy. There was a slouch in his posture, and Kurogiri could see slight tremors in the boy's hand. The young man sat down at the bar, avoiding meeting anyone's gaze until Kurogiri sat down the breakfast sandwich that he asked for in front of him. "Thank you," Midoriya had said, but Kurogiri could hear rasp, the rasp, much different than to how he sounded earlier. He noticed how Midoriya brought up his hands to his throat. He he would make sure he would have to make sure to make some slippery elm's tea to help with what looks like a sore throat. The boys seem to have been quite upset to have a sore throat, Kiri thought. It reminded him of Shigaraki after he had gone on a screaming tantrum when he was younger. While everyone is eating, Kirigiri could see the glances being sent towards Midoriya. When he had made Midoriya's tea and set it down in front of him, Midoriya simply froze, and then smiled sadly. A a single tear fell from his eye as he picked up the tea with both hands. When Midoriya drank it, Kirigiri could see realization come to Midoriya about what the tea is and what the purpose it serves, and more silent tears fell. The silent and things were silent until Compressed and Spinner started a card game. Eventually, when twice sorry about that. Where was I? There it goes. Hold on. Sorry. Uh, um, Eventually, when twice joined, Noise slowly came back to the bar. Dobby took a seat next to Spinner to help Twice cheat. Midoriya and Toga had moved to a booth seat, and the boy was watching her draw in his notebook. Magne soon took a seat next to Toga, and Shigaraki took a seat next to Midoriya. Shigaraki was pleased to see the color return to Midoriya's face, as the boy made comments about the vigorous drawings Toga drew. The girl had a penchant, I think it's supposed to be a passion for flowers and nuts. There were a couple of murder scenes she drew that had Midoriya laugh. Magne had also taken a pen and drew small designs along the corners. At one point, Midoriya gave Shigaraki the pen. "Why are you giving me this?" Shigaraki asked, careful to hold the pen with two fingers. To draw, everyone at this table had drew in the notebook here, so you're next. Magne and Toga both agreed with the hero student. The notebook was slid right in front of Shigaraki, and the three pair of eyes stared at him, waiting for him to set the nub down on the paper. But before that could happen, a phone a phone rang. Just like last time, Midoriya had whipped out the phone with ease and answered it without any hesitation. Izuku was not surprised at all by the phone call he got from his mother again. Every Ever since he was little, despite being ignored, she always kept tabs on where he was, always saying she needs to know where he was causing trouble. Never had cat. Ow. Never had been to check up on how he was feeling, always to check up on what he had done. So even though he wanted nothing more to simply let the phone ring, he and got to voicemail. But um, but that would only be followed by more phone calls and the growing urge to use all for one to crush his phone. So he answered, putting on a fake cheery tone that made him want to scream. "Hi, Mom. Izuku, where are you at? There was no alert that you had gone home yet. How long are you going to be at your friend's house? Surely they don't need you that long. I know it's the weekend, but I don't need you getting into trouble. I cannot have you causing issues when I'm away." Inko said to him, annoyance clear in her voice. Izuku frowned and held back from sighing as Inko would be able to hear. "Sorry, Mom, but I'm not getting into trouble. I just been with my friend, helping them out. Actually, it is really important that I am here and helping them out. The parents even offered to let me stay for the weekend I promise I am not causing trouble. Ezekiel explained, insistently pleading for her to just let him stay and stop asking questions. He waited with bated breath for her response. So what? You're just planning to burden another family? She snipped at him through the phone. Izuku sucked in a breath, like he'd just been hit. Inko continued, "You better not be causing trouble. I don't need another phone call about you. I'm trying to work, yet you make things so difficult by making mistakes. Is that all you're really good for, Izuku? Causing trouble?" Izuku, he gripped his phone. He gripped his grip on the phone tightened. No. He heard her huff on the other side of the line. Fine, stay there for all I care. But don't you, fine, stay there for all I care. But don't you dare cause issues. Can't believe you're causing me stress, and I'm not even there. Goodbye. Bye. Then she hung up. He let out a shaky breath as he put the phone back in his pocket. With how quiet the bar had gotten at the sound the why, damn. Let me take a drink. So let's not get a cough. Oof. With how quiet the bar had gotten at the sound of the phone ringing, what Midoriya's mom had said to him had been clear as day. They heard the unkind words the boy's mom said to him. They saw the tension finally return settling back on his shoulders. It was disappointing and frustrating, but who were they to do anything involving him? It was their fault that his mother had called him, wasn't it? But it was their fault for the words she spoke. But was it their fault for the words she spoke, for the tone she used? Was it even Midoriya's fault? No, it wasn't. Not now. They didn't know what to do. But before anyone could try, but, but before anyone could try something, they heard a grunt from Shigaraki as the man nudged Midoriya. What do you want me to draw? What do you want me to draw, brat? Shigaraki jumped when Toga kicked him under the table, and Midoriya smiled. Buildings. Draw me a bunch of buildings. Draw the city far away from here, he said. Shigaraki looked at those green eyes that still looked dull, and he nodded, careful to not to decay the pen or the notebook. Tamura began to draw a city, one that was far, far away from here. Later on, Midoriya ended up sitting with Compress. The man was showing Midoriya his various masks. It was amusing to see Midoriya up each of them with the utmost respect and care. Compress was very pleased with this. Compress, though, was pulled away when Toga and Twice took one of his masks. The man was quick to chase after them. The chase ended when Kurogiri gave them food. Apparently, the man had stocked up on his trip in the morning, mostly due to the fact that he hated leaving the bar for too long. Who who's to say who to say it would be in the same state he had left it in? Dobby finished eating first and sat down on the couch. Not soon later, Midoriya joined him. The boy right next to him, sat right next to him, clearly settling in and keeping his hands close to the flame user. Comfy there, princess? Dobby smirked. Yep. Dobby had brought up a hand and let out some fire. The blue flames danced in his hands. How about now? Scared? Want to move? Dobby looked away from the flame to look at Midoriya's face. He was surprised by what he saw. Midoriya's eyes had seemed dull for the most part since the night before, but now they were looking at the blue flame with such intensity they almost seemed to glow. Pretty, Midoriya whispered out, seemingly in awe of the flame. Dobby's face screwed up in confusion, and he tried to look for the signs of a lie or a joke in the boy's face, but he didn't find any. The way Midoriya said "pretty" was completely new to him. Hm. The sound what was the sound that Dobby let out before extinguishing the flame. He noticed how the shine hasn't completely disappeared from Midoriya's eyes. He didn't see how those eyes slowly closed, and Midoriya fell asleep until he felt the pressure of Midoriya's head leaning against his arm. Magne laughed at Dobby's face when he realized what predicament he was in again. Compressed laughed while saying, "Oh, that, um, oh how the young hero has trapped the villain once again. How delightful." Dobby smiled, and then he caught Toga's eye as she had came to look at Midoriya. She beckoned her over and, and signaled um, him, wanting to tell her something. She leaned down, and he whispered something in her ear. The smile on Toga's face was full of delight. As she bounced over to Shigaraki, the next thing the red-eyed villain knew was that he was being pulled and pushed onto the couch next to Midoriya. He spluttered at the action, only to freeze when Dabi pushed Midoriya to lean on Shigaraki. Then Dabi stood up, sending a shit-eating grin to Shigaraki. Be careful not to decay the kid this fuck. He's sleeping. Hold on. Sorry, I scrolled too far. Dabi gave Shigaraki gave what was that? I didn't like that. Oh god, what was that? It was my voice, but oh wait. I know what happened. I had Oh god, okay, that scared me so bad. Shigaraki gave Dobby the finger as the others laughed. It wasn't often Shi- that, that Izuku had gotten to sleep during the day. The closest he had gotten was in class, but he never let himself have his eyes closed for to class. No matter how tired he was, he listened. He was listening to the teacher explain, and Con kept him already. Oh, explaining a concept he already knew. He kept his eyes open. Izuku was familiar with what could happen to you if you were unaware of your situation for too long. He remembered being startled out of his sleep when a loud when a he remembered being startled out of his sleep with a hit to his head or a loud sound right by his ear that left it ringing for the rest of the day. He remembered once that he was when he was at least or at least that's what he thought. Oh, he remembered once that when he opened um, his eyes, the middle school class was gone, or at least that's what he thought before the door opened and found them waiting for him with a smile promised only promised pain. The teacher was nowhere in sight, and the teachers they loved to call him out and give him extra work for falling asleep in class. Extra work that made him stay up late. Another thing that didn't let him sleep, other than nightmare, other than nightmares, it was an endless cycle. One, one that slowly became um an uh, obsolete at UA. Despite having fallen asleep in class, none of those things happened. The clo- the closet was the closest was a paper plane that Sero made hit his head. The boy apologized, of course, when it startled Izuku, so he fell out of his chair. So much that he fell out of his chair. The odd thing that Izuku noticed since going to UA was that never once he had been woken up by the loud explosion. Ida had been quickly to tell him that he and the other classmates never let Bakugo do that, as it was incredibly rude to wake someone up like that. The teachers never gave him extra work. Instead, they told him to get more sleep and try his best to not let it happen again. Aizawa Sensei had even asked him if he was having sleeping issues, or if he needed to talk to Hound Dog or Recovery Girl. It was surprising to hear concern and suggestions for better sleep to come from the man that constantly took naps throughout the day. Despite this, Izuku himself didn't let himself close his eyes too long. Despite despite this, Izuku didn't let himself close his eyes for too long anywhere, unless it was time to go to bed. Although that never granted him any sleep, except now he was sleeping yet again among villains. What a funny situation he was in. But but even funnier was the fact that he was having an odd dream. At least he should be. At least it should be a dream. It didn't feel. It didn't feel like any dream he had before. He found himself in a seemingly never-ending expansion of black smoke and hard floor. He seemed he he himself seemed to be made up of smoke. He found that he didn't even have a mouth, and not very far away from him was lights, 8 to be in fact. He barely could make out their figures, but what he could hear was snippet of voices carrying over by the wind that seemed to be coming out of nowhere. It's not okay. Look at him. He just what is eight doing? Worried about him. Ain't he's here. It sounded like multiple people talking, but he could barely pick out but he could barely pick the voices out. He couldn't hear them clearly. He wondered who they were talking about. Who was 8? Worried about who? He looked down at his body, made of smoke, and then the blankets um expand expands um expands before him. Despite never having this dream or seeing a place like this, he he had a feeling that he should know. The okay, hold on. Be right back. Um, despite never having this a dream, never sorry. Despite never dreaming this or seeing a place like this, he had a feeling that he should know. He looked back to the lights and the blurry figures. For a moment, though, for a moment, he thought he saw one of them more clearly. A woman? Then, like before, when he fallen asleep after drinking, come, come on, tea. Someone whispered, a soft voice. This, but this time it wasn't inside of his head. Rather, right by his ear. It's okay, Izuku. We can wait a little longer. Don't worry. We'll still be here. Then Izuku found himself feeling like he was being pulled away from whatever he was. When he opened his eyes, he found Toga smiling at him, and he noticed that he wasn't as warm as he had been before. Actually, he wasn't leaning towards his right before. Midoriya removed his head from whoever he was leaning on to his left. Then he looked up, red eyes looking at him with bluish gray strands of hair. Shigaraki. He had been taking a nap leaning against Shigaraki. Dabi must have left at some point, and somehow Shigaraki had gotten replaced him on the other side. Shigaraki hadn't said anything yet, just looking at him. He didn't move either, not feeling particularly inclined to move himself. Izuku simply looked back down and put his head back to its original position, leaning against Shigaraki. Toga's smile somehow gotten bigger. Alright, uh, that's the end of this podfic. Thank you for listening to this one. And I'm so sorry that I haven't been recording like I have been in the past. Things have been happening in school. Life is life. But I have been trying to be um I've been trying to uh get this stuff out. Um I might take a break. Like a short break so I can catch my breath, and then I'm gonna record another one in a little bit. So I hope y'all have a very good day, and I'm so sorry for the long introduction, about 10 minutes long. Um, but anyways, I hope you have an amazing day, and eat, sleep, rest, um, and have a happy holiday, because I don't know y'all's religion. So, happy holiday. Bye!